Okay, let's see. Okay. I think everyone's here. Okay, let's start with this update from everyone on what is done last week and what they're going to work on next. I guess we'll start with Michael.
All right. So the seals pull request is basically done. It's not merged yet. I need to fiddle with some numbers on tests to get them to pass, timeouts and block production rates. But the logic is all good at this point, I think. And I've been working on the sharded network performance, continuing that effort. So we're hopefully narrowing in on the problem. It seems like there's some issue on the read side of the TCP connection between peers, where we're reading from the buffer that collects the bytes sent over that socket relatively slowly. It's not yet clear why exactly that's happening, but we're going to keep digging into it. But hopefully,
I think this is not actually
TCP
buffer. This is some Actix. This is some Actix buffer. Right?
I mean, there are actually, I read the code, and there are actually a couple of buffers. So there is the TCP buffer, and so Actix reads from it, and it puts the data into its own buffer, and then afterwards the next read happens, and we in our codec we put the data. I looked through the code, everything looked okay in the code, but it's also possible that there is some kind of bug somewhere on one of the
so I think what Michael observed is that reading from this buffer is at most 2 kilobytes per second, right?
Yeah, I added some logging to try to measure it. Now, most of the time,
they should also be on the writer side as well, because when peer wants to write the data, you also have a similar queue and similar buffers that you that are basically similar to the reads, just to the other side. So it's also possible that if peer is blocked, then the writes will not be happening.
Yeah, maybe let Michael finish. Yeah, Michael, what are you trying to say?
Yeah, I was just going to say the logging for that read buffer, or reading the rate of reading bytes from the buffer, it looks like the buffer most of the time is basically empty, and the read rate is like a couple hundred bytes, because it's reading one message and then there's nothing else there. But when there's some spike in network traffic, then you can build up a backlog in this buffer, and that's the time when you would expect to be able to read, much higher rates, and like 2000 is still a lot bigger than 100, but it's still a lot smaller than the overall size of the buffer, and that seems suspicious. Like, why is that read rate so low in those conditions?
I think that this is obviously very low, and I think some hypotheses include things like it's doing something else in the thread that's kind of blocking this, and not necessarily blocking, but just make it such that it cannot spend all of its CPU on reading the buff from this buffer.
Yeah, I think that's likely the case. I'd like to do some refactoring to have this read write happen on a thread pool, so that it can always be happening in the background while other stuff is going on. But the refactor is not trivial, I think.
I read it should not be that hard to do. So I can help you with that.
Yeah, we can take it offline and maybe set up a pair programming.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's see. What else is there? I think Michael, you said last week that you got it to work with 2000 TPS and with 8
Yeah,
stars, right?
I did see it work with 2000. I didn't do anything to make that happen. It was just, I guess, changes that got merged into master had a little performance improvement.
Yeah, but do we know like and then like what's the number that you run with such that does not work?
I doubled again, and so now I'm running at 4,000, and it doesn't.
Oh, I see.
If we were more interested in what the exact number we could handle was, we could do a little binary search and find that out. But I'm not sure if it's important.
I don't think it's super necessary at this point. Okay, so I guess we'll just keep. I think we'll just keep investigating this buffer. Reading from buffer. Okay. Sounds good. Piotr, what about you?
Yeah, so I finished splitting, moving the code to the separate repository for the memory memory tracker. I'm right now finishing adding the documentation, and also I spent some time looking through the Actix code, understanding how that works. So that should. I thought that there was some issue with the Actix, but I saw that actually the read and writes actually make sense the way they did it. So now, at least now I understand what's actually happening through the pipeline. So I should be able to help Michael with that.
Okay. So what do you plan to work on next?
So I was going to finish making the change where I add the statistics about the number of the number of uploads that are happening, that are in progress.
So, sorry. What is the thing that you're saying?
Statistics about the number of the upload size.
Oh, okay. Upload size. Okay.
Basically, upload and download. How much we are reading from the socket, writing to the socket.
Okay.
So that should actually help with the Michael also with the debugging as well. I now understand how to do it, but it looks like I will have to make a copy of the framed reader.
Make a copy. Why couldn't you do it in codec?
Because codec does not have all the information. Sorry, I should be able to do it with the codec. With the codec for the reading, but I won't be able to do it with codec for writing.
For writing, why is that?
Because so basically, what's happening is when you in the codec you write the full message to the buffer, and it's then the message stays inside the Actix buffers, and you don't have information about whenever you are done or not.
I see. Oh, but this does give you information if you want to know how buffer size changes over time.
Yes, I mean there are multiple buffers, so we. So I will have to do things for the codec, and then I will also have to make some changes also for the framed read, framed write, also to print the buffer sizes.
Okay, but that requires modifying something else. That is an Actix thing, right?
I mean, kind of, but we can create like our own version of the framed buffer. It's I looked at the code; it's pretty independent from anything else.
Okay.
Because we initialize the framed reader and framed writer ourselves, So it should be fine to just initialize like a near frame wrapper, near frame
I see.
frame reader and free.
Wait, so there's some trait you can just implement and it will just work.
I will have to basically modify the functions.
Oh, so it still requires modifying actives.
Yes, I will have to modify the actives, but then I can make a copy of those classes, basically create our own versions.
I see. Okay. I mean, yeah, it's just that if it requires modifying actives, it makes it harder to make sure all the dependencies still works, right?
I mean, it's not really modifying actives. You basically create a copy of.
Yeah. I think I understand what you.
Of course, if they decide to update it in the future, you won't have this updated. But anyway, this is like at least those two files should be fine to move outside and have it on our own side, because they are independent. They are not being used. We are not modifying like some files deep inside Actix, just the top layer. So
okay, sounds good. Hey, Misha, are you here? Yeah. So what have you been working on?
I'm finishing the Epoch Manager spec. Not many updates from me. I'll send the pull request soon.
But don't you already have a pull request?
Well, that's the old one. Now I need to update it. I changed a lot, actually.
Okay.
I also found a couple suspicious things there. Gonna maybe add them as tests.
You mean suspicious things in the code?
Like in our design of Epoch Manager.
Oh, okay. What is it exactly?
It's related to slashing, mostly just some illogical behavior. It's
Okay, but anyway. I see. Yeah, but we do not have slashing at this point, so I mean, yeah, there is likely some issue there.
Yeah, I still want to document how it's supposed to work. So
sure, yeah, but I don't think we need to fix it at this point. If you found some bugs there.
Unless, of course, they affect the operation without slashing.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. Let's see. KPR, can you give us an update?
Yeah, sure. So basically, block ordinal thing is completely done, and now it's in nightly features. The other important thing which is completely done, basically done, is I implemented all the necessary code for Epoch Sync, and now I'm switching to testing phase. And also there are some difficulties related to the boundaries of when Epoch Sync moves to switches into header sync. It's not absolutely clear what to do here. And the other problem I found that because of we want to enable two features at the same time. One of them is Epoch Sync, and the other one is GC of headers. It causes lots of test failures, and it's really hard to follow what's going on. So that's why I decided to temporarily disable GC headers, and I also suggest to finalize Epoch Sync before enabling GC of headers, and maybe we also will go to separate these two things. So I don't see why do we need to enable them at the same time.
Yeah, I think I discussed with KPR right before this call. I think it makes sense to make them separate. Okay. Let's see. Igor, can you just give us an update?
Sure. So I created pull request for the receipt ID thing. I hope it's more or less finished. Also, like for the rest of the week, I mostly studied code, seen videos, stuff like that.
Okay. So, Igor, is there anything else, or is that everything?
No, that's
okay.
That's it for me. I guess we'll need to discuss what's next. What I will do next.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I want to mention that what we discussed last week. So I posted, I consolidated the discussion in multiple different threads into this one post that essentially documents our proposals on both the bridge side and also the protocol side, and also how it's going to do upgrade, as well as the drawbacks, some of which we have already talked about. This is going to be a big change that we're going to do. So I encourage everyone to take a look at this. It will affect not only our team but many teams that work on either tooling or app layer side. So I want to make sure that everyone is on board with this change. If you have different opinions or you think something there can be done better, please comment on this. And I think we. What I wanted to say is that we want to finalize this decision by next Friday. So if you have any suggestions, feedbacks, please do that before next Friday. I wonder, Alex, do you have anything else to add on this?
No, not really.
Okay. So if there's nothing else that we need to discuss, I guess we can end it here. And I guess everyone have a good week, and see you.